do, won't it?
Master and Mistress Cutler, Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Lord Mayor, Secretary of State, Mayors, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we find ourselves faced with three major challenges: the unpredictability and instability from the forthcoming EU referendum, the current lack of national industrial strategy, and, pertinent to this region, the need for manufacturers to manage the global slowdown in demand. The challenges are immediate and need to be addressed in order to grasp the opportunities through regional devolution, the Northern Powerhouse, and to promote the unique selling points of the Sheffield City region as a place to invest and grow. The EU referendum is having an effect on manufacturing. The very existence brings uncertainty, a reluctance to invest, and a consequential slowdown in business. The Cultlers Company takes no position on EU membership, as many members and freemen are either strongly for or against, and any attempt to take sides would be deeply divisive. We recognise that the EU is far from perfect, but also that a Brexit could cause yet more uncertainty for manufacturers whilst we negotiate our departure. If the vote is to leave, the free movements of capital and labour will be an absolute necessity to keep the economy going, and more importantly, allowing continued access to the single market. At this point, I think it is worth saying that the UK's relationship with the EU has not been helped by government in the past. For example, an overzealous approach to implementing EU regulations seems to have had a much greater negative impact on businesses in the UK than elsewhere. Regardless of the outcome of the referendum, government needs a clear national industrial strategy. Secretary of State, over many years we have called for this, and the recent crisis in the steel industry has again highlighted this need. The steel industry is close to the hearts of many in this room. We want government support to make sure that Tata's speciality steels continue to operate locally. It would be a tragedy for the region and the country if we lose this manufacturing capability, as customers, particularly in the oil and aerospace industries, require reliable, certified supply chains that are currently provided by Tata in Stocksbridge and Rotherham. The government is reluctant to impose tariffs on steel imports, but the underpriced dumped steel coming from China is currently distorting the market, and these cheap prices will only last until there is no competition. It is reported that 101 China's biggest steel firms lost $11 billion in the first 10 months of 2015, equating to $34 per tonne of steel produced. Another way of looking at it, over 10% loss on the average selling price of hot rolled coil. Tariffs should be imposed in order to make sure that there is fair practice in the market. Until recently, heavy industry has had to pay inflated energy prices by a green levy, which made British companies uncompetitive against our European competitors, never mind the Chinese companies. Even after government intervention, we are still paying 25% more for our electricity than our competitors in Germany. It seems that UK industry is seen as an easy target for government policies, which may seem attractive in the short term, but can be extremely damaging. Since the 19th and early 20th century, Sheffield has participated in the development of the world's modern industries. Today, manufacturers, along with the University of Sheffield and Sheffield Hallam University, continue to drive innovation through groundbreaking research, particularly at the AMRC. However, we need to move on by adapting a more strategic approach to sustaining growth in critical industries. The challenge is to develop a national industrial strategy to create the right conditions for investment and export-focused sectors to allow our economy to thrive and not just manage industries in crisis. We join the EEF in calling for all government departments to pull in the same direction, to enable companies to meet their objectives to innovate, invest in the latest technologies, and be internationally competitive. In practice, this means having a clear sense of what the capabilities are and which industrial sectors are important for future growth, along with addressing future UK challenges such as climate change, defence and security needs, as well as working in partnership with businesses to get the policy environment right, whether this is a competitive and predictable tax system, a secure and affordable energy supply, or world-class digital skills and infrastructure, and using taxation positively to encourage industry with internationally competitive capital allowances and business rates. But, most importantly, government needs to maintain a level playing field. So much for the challenges, now on to the opportunities. Devolution could be an opportunity for a dynamically elected mayor to create a positive climate for investors and to increase wealth and job opportunities. We should draw lessons from the success of having an elected mayor in London, and we will need talented people to create the investment potential that we need. It has been announced that central government has promised £30 million per year for the next 30 years to the combined authority to allow the local enterprise board to deliver sustainable opportunities to the region. This may not seem a great deal in the grand scale of public expenditure. However, it is up to us to seize the opportunity that this presents. We must demonstrate to the country that we can work cooperatively across the region and show that we can be a force to match and complement London. Unfortunately, the decision to close the Sheffield Regional Office of the Department of Business, Innovation and Skills, with the associated job losses, has had a negative impact. This move is being interpreted by many as a kick in the teeth for the concept of the Northern Powerhouse, making it seem no more than government rhetoric. We need government to show in its actions they are really behind the idea. The company of Cultlers continues to be proactive in supporting Sheffield and the city region. Next month, the Master Cutler is leading a trade mission to Canada. Given the large quarterly trade deficit, this is exactly the sort of thing that industry should be doing and government should be supporting. Bizarrely, UKTI will not support the mission financially, and this again sends entirely the wrong message from government. Manufacturers generally welcome the concept of the Northern Powerhouse. The great northern cities of Sheffield, Manchester and Leeds need to compete globally and be seen as different but complementary to London. For this, transport is vital. Rail is important. However, roads are used to transport 70% of all goods, And for the Northern Powerhouse to succeed, the road network needs to have substantial investment, and central government is the only agent that can provide this. There is much talk about rail investment in the concept of the Northern Powerhouse, HS2, the North-South line, and HS3, the East-West link. Arguments can be made that economic benefits will be quicker with the HS3 line, and in this region, integration of HS2 and HS3 with the existing rail network is essential. Most importantly, from industry's perspective, when the high-speed rail links are built, British manufacturers must not be overlooked for the procurement of equipment, and government must be proactive in this. The proposed electrification and improvements to the Midland Main Line will benefit the Sheffield City region economy. However, although this work has been approved, it will be another 8 years before completion, which is too long before Sheffield sees any benefits. This work needs to be prioritised by being brought forward. We do not want government to micromanage business, but it must be seen to be supportive, such as making sure infrastructure projects are not delayed, and wherever possible, work is given to British companies. This region is a great place to invest and to have things made. I'm particularly pleased that the Cultlers Made in Sheffield passport scheme has been developed over the last 4 years, which gives an insight into engineering for young, talented people. We continue to support the Made in Sheffield mark, which has grown year on year and is now covered by European registration. Germany, in particular, has managed to create a worldwide reputation for its quality of engineering skills and thus enhancing its ability to export. We have equally good products and skills in this country, but over the years we have underplayed our capabilities and lost ground. We need to make this up. This region, this country, has a unique mix of heritage, innovation and skills with a can-do attitude. We have some very successful businesses, such as automotive, pharmaceutical and construction, that are world leaders in their own fields, and we need to reinforce these successes. We need to shout it to the world. Despite the challenges, manufacturers in the Sheffield City region will do what they've always done, faced up to and overcome them. Sheffield remains a very vibrant region, a great place to invest and a fantastic place to have things made. Secretary of State, government has a role to be supportive, a critical friend, and treat industry as a national asset, which is to be encouraged and promoted. We ask you to take this message back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, could I now ask you to stand for the toast? Hallamshire and the future.
Hallamshire.